Are LLMs going to be it? Will this be like the epitome of what we can do with AI for podcasting and, beyond? Sorry, adjusting my recording. We've had chatbots for a long time. That's not new. But LLMs have elevated chatbots in a way that I'm not sure that we were ready for, judging from people's reactions. But is that it? Or is it going to evolve? Today, I have a Substack post that I just received and just listened to, because you can do that for some Substacks, that goes into a big picture view of what is coming. And seriously, let's start here. We've had chatbots for a while. Is that just the end of? We've had chatbots for a while. LLMs, large language models, have like ChatGPT, Gemini, uh, Claude, all of those. They've elevated what a chatbot can be, can do, can feel like. But is that it? Or is there more? I've got a Substack post today, not mine, somebody else's, that does a big picture view that I think is so needed in this rapidly changing AI environment, especially for podcasting, which is already an etch-a-sketch industry. Hi, I'm Steph from Coffee Lake Media. We're Coffee Like Media, where my curiosity is to your advantage. I not only help create, produce, distribute, and do so much with my clients' podcasts, as well as my own podcast, as you can see and hear, and maybe even read if you're over at coffeelike.substack.com, which is where the text version and all of that exists. But I also explore a lot of things, a lot of tools to use for podcasting. And specifically, the past few months, I have been obsessed with ChatGPT 3.5. I've been using it for over a year, but I've been really deep diving recently. I even spoke at Podfest AI Summit last week. Was that last week? Oh my gosh, it feels like so long ago. But yeah, so I spoke on that, on using podcast transcripts to create your podcast newsletter with ChatGPT 3.5. Okay, so all that. Let's just get to it. Okay, I want to show you what the article is, and I want you to hear part of it. What? Yes. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I don't set my mic up right. It happens. But it's working. Okay, so here's the article. It's on Substack. It's by Ethan Mollick, who I've highlighted before in a previous episode. He was on Ezra Klein, if I remember correctly. Yes, that was a magnificent episode. And since then, of course, I'm following his Substack. And today I got the notification that let me show you this. I got the notification that he had this post freeing the chatbot. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll get around to that. Like the gazillions of newsletters, of AI newsletters that I now subscribe to. But check this out. See this right here? Ah! Of course you can't. Okay. Right here, right below my finger, that is a play button. You can play some of the Substack articles. Not all of them, and I'm not entirely sure when you can and when you can't, but I know for his that you can play them. So I literally listened to it. That was the end. I was at the end of the article. Let me start that over.
Freeing the chatbot. Intelligence of a sort is going to be all around us.
Now, that is a choppy AI voice, I admit that. But honestly, with my eye issues and the ability to walk away from a big screen and not look at any screen while I listen to stuff like this, really helps me keep in touch with stuff without having to push through reading on a screen, which I despise. And have difficulty with. So that's that. That is on the Substack mobile app. I have an Android phone. I'm assuming if it's on Android, it's also on Apple products, because that they seem to be made first. Okay, so the article itself. Let me get to the article itself. Ethan goes through, let me pull it back up here because it's more important that you see the article than you see me when I go through this super quickly. I'm not going to highlight everything because I want you to actually go on there and enjoy this puppy. So he talked about, let me make sure we have the right one here. Okay, for some reason it's not on the, oh, there we go. Okay, it's on this one. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Okay, so first of all, I forgot to heart it. I will share that later. Well, clearly I'm sharing it in this. Okay, so he talked about a bunch of different devices that, although not perfect, are changing, are like an indication of what's coming in AI. And the thing that I really love about this article, first of all, is I've got a bunch of new newsletter recommendations on coffeelike.substack.com. And to be quite honest with you, I'm subscribed to so many AI newsletters at this point that my head's spinning a little bit because a lot of them cover the news of the day, which, if you're following any of this, it's so fast and it's so much and it's overwhelming. And what Ethan does instead in this post, and I don't know because I haven't been following him long enough to know this, but I don't know if he does this in every post. But in this post, he does more of an overview of certain devices and what they're kind of indicating where AI might go, where chatbots might go. So one of the ones that I was really fascinated with was what he said. Oh, it is super orange. The rabbit. What is the official name? Where is it? I don't know. It's taking money for the rabbit R1, and you can see it in this image here. He said it was more orange than he could that he could describe. That is very orange. That almost looks red to me, but screens do change color. And so he was mentioning that this particular device is, and don't worry, I'm not going to do this for every thing that he's mentioning, but I wanted to point out this one because this is the kind of overview that the post has. Is he was talking about this has the advantage of being able to be away from your computer, being able to, be away from like a bigger screen. Now, the thing is with ChatGPT 3.5 and probably 4, but I haven't tried it yet, is that you can have the ChatGPT app, which means you can walk away from a big screen and do a voice prompt with that anyway. But the advantage of being on a device that doesn't have all the other things that distract us is appealing. I have to admit it. I miss having a phone that only does calls and text messages. I can't tell you, I probably don't have to, how many times I go to my phone to do one practical thing and end up a half an hour later doing all bunch of other things because even though my notifications are muted, they are still there. Like I haven't completely deleted them because I do need reminders. I just don't want to hear them. So I like the idea of that and what he says about that and the implications that that has, or not the implications, the foreshadowing that that device existing means for AI and chatbots specifically is just super interesting. And this little puppy is $200 apparently. Anyway, he goes through a few different devices or tools like that. Not specifically like that, but he does go into specific tools and he has pictures of them. And he talks about co-pilots, which I didn't actually understand what they were. I didn't research it either, to be honest with you. There's so much, and I've decided to go slow and be very intentional with what I do with my AIs for podcasting. When I first started podcasting 7 years ago, this month is actually my 7-year anniversary. I went so deep into so many different technologies that I burned out, and I don't want to have the shiny object syndrome burnout this time. I just don't. I don't have time for it. So I'm intentionally going slow, which means that I'm behind on some things, but I'm not behind on all of it because I am I am turning into quite a prompt genius, I have to say. I'm sorry, I don't usually boast, but I'm feeling good about my prompts these days. Anyway, he goes into co-pilots and explains it in a way that's actually super approachable, understandable, and also he talks about the future of it. And then he goes into other things. Look, the thing is, hey, I'm finishing up a quick recording. You can come in. And let me Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. And so I'm not going to read the article to you. I'm not even going to play it for you because that's not my article to share. But I wanted to share the article with you, the post with you. I'm not ever quite sure what to call Substack posts, I guess posts, because it has that big picture view. It has that kind of slower, here are examples, but here's what they could mean for the space. And I think if we take this kind of approach to using AI, LLMs and other AIs, whatever you want to call the things that we're using, because there's so many umbrella terms and then specific terms and all of that. And I'm not being stupid. I'm being serious. There's so much going on that I think the overview that he does with these specific devices is super good and can help us slow the heck down and pick the things we want to use with an intentionality that I'm not sure we're really doing. And I say this on the edge of having seen on the edge of having seen Elizabeth Gilbert speak a few days ago at Tivoli, one of the oldest amusement parks in the world, which is in Copenhagen, Denmark, where I live right now. And she talked about the purpose pressure, and the opposite of purpose anxiety, and purpose, like life purpose, and the pressure from that. The opposite of purpose being, can you guess? Presence. This does connect. Stay with me for a second. That presence, staying here now instead of stressing out about the future and trying to achieve so much, which we're so good at stressing ourselves out over. Doing that, being in the present, being curious, all of those things that she said that I could never say as eloquently, so I'm not even going to try. We can do that with AI as well. We can do that with our LLMs. We can do that with our podcasting workflow, that it will change whether we like it or not. So why not have fun with it, explore it, but do it at a pace that works for you? So my 2 giant takeaways, possibly 3, my few giant takeaways from this post is 1, you might want to follow Ethan's Substack, because this isn't the first post of his I've read/listened to that is just brain scratchy, good, big picture, not just so much news and noise and stuff. And the news stuff is important, but it's overwhelming. 2, we need to intentionally choose what we're doing with our AI for podcasts, because we can very easily get overwhelmed. And 3, Elizabeth Gilbert rocks my world. And if you think you know her from Eat, Pray, Love, go read Big Magic, at least chapter 5, where she talks about creativity. As someone who participates in a podcast, you are creative, whether you think you are or not. And I think you're going to enjoy the information that she has in that. So that's it. That's all I have for today. I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, coffeelike.substack.com. Never forget your CTAs, I yell at my clients. Oh, and then I forget mine. coffeelike.substack.com. Okay, bye.